Hello there, and welcome to Hammerman for today, April the 16th. Oh, alright, that's all the energy I got left in me. I'm done. I am empty. Oh, it has been an interesting day and a half, 2 days for anyone who doesn't live in the band of awesome that I currently reside in. We have been experiencing what most people are calling Ice-mageddon or Snow-mageddon or Winter-mageddon. I don't know, some kind of geddon on there because it feels like the end of the world, you know, like the world's freezing over and everybody's getting killed by it or something. Maybe it's not quite that bad, but it certainly does seem so. You know, to put things into perspective, I went skating on my driveway earlier, not to be confused with rollerblading, which you can do on ground normally, but actually like a bladed skate. And I have a gravel driveway. So, you know, I know some of you out there can appreciate that. It's a little bit ridiculous. So I've taken to hiding inside of doors, and I figured while I was doing it, I'd do some Hammerman. But then, you know, the Hammerman a little bit scary this week. Let's just say that it's a GILF. G for, you know, G. Yeah, GILF. I'm sure you're all familiar with the acronym GILF. Kind of, you know, popularized, I guess, by certain places of the internets. It stands for Granny, I'd Love to Fight. And, oh baby, does Hammerman ever bring the Grannies this week? It is unbelievable. I honestly, I pooped myself. And also, I'd like to put out there, like, all these defenses, no ice, as per usual. There might be, I don't even know what the defensive tribe boosts are, but, like, let's face it, if there's building defensive tribe boosts, I probably have them. Now, because I get this on an early times, that means that if you're watching this on the actual 16th, you're probably going to have different defensive boosts, so hopefully they're not a big deal. Hopefully it's not something amazing like rocket launcher damage times 3,000%. I really doubt that they'd be so kind as to give us something like that, but you never know. So anyways, I probably do have some defensive boosts in here from the tribes, and no ice. But also, no prototypes. I do have a Doom Cannon chilling way at the back. You can actually see it up there in the top right-hand corner. Not that I'm trying to get it involved in anything, it's just inevitably it, you know, makes itself involved because certain defenses require the entirety of the map, and you can't just kind of goose your way through with half a map, I don't know. Anyways... So pretty standard for the first couple of I guess waves or levels of Hammerman, and then here on 4 you can see the Grens. Possibly I think 3 might even have Grens. It might have been the Rifle Rush. I don't remember off the top of my head, but Stage 4 is where the Grens definitely start to get scary. And I'm not gonna lie, I was just like, it's Stage 4, don't really care, not really paying attention, just kind of like, you know, auto-clicking my way through, because this defensive layout is pretty harsh on the lower level stuff. You know, I just muscle through it with my max everything, and it wasn't until I got to this point where I was like, wow, you know, the first 2 layers of my base are completely wiped out. The third one is taking heavy damage. Like, I started to get a little bit worried because I felt like there was a lot more base missing than maybe necessarily there should be. So if you are a lower level, make sure you watch out and plan accordingly for that stage 4. It's kind of nasty. And then stage 5 comes with the Rifleman medic wall. Oh yeah, it goes from nasty to worse. You go from having a ridiculous number of Grens to having a regenerating wall of death in front of a bunch of Grens. Like, it really doesn't get any worse than that. It's kind of frightening. So, fortunately, because they are still a little bit lower on the level, I am able to just muscle through this. But again, for this stage, like, I'm used to just having 5 and being like, I can coast through this. 5 also gets pretty harshly beaten on before it finally drops. So if you're a lower level, you know, do not hesitate to start dropping the damage amps at stages 4 and 5, just to like boost up your rockets. Your rockets, having them as far back as you could possibly put them, with a whole bunch of damage boosting their crazy input, will go a long way. If you could throw in some mortars, because the mortars will have the reach on the Grens that are required. Mortars would be good to throw in there, maybe even sniper towers, even though they're, you know, single target, they'll at least start picking off some Grens. But like, as you can see here, even with max defenses, 5 almost broke through. Like, the only thing standing were the rocket launchers. And then we move on to 6, which more Grennies. That's right, all the Grennies, all the time. It scared me enough this time that I got wise to what was going on with Hammerman. I switched to the anti-Gren base, as you can see, doing its work. The Grens got wiped before the second wave even hit the beach, and did relatively little damage. The trick is having the shock launchers far enough up that they will start shocking the Grens the second they hit the beach, and having your rocket launchers far enough up that the second they're shocked, they start just getting pummeled, because everything clumps up there nice and tight. Very, very key to taking out the Hammermans. The problem now, of course, is once you get rid of the Grens, which you have to, it's just a must, you then have to deal with 500 plus Riflemen, which, as you can see, gets pretty painful, especially considering, for whatever reason, Hammermen seem to be especially harsh on the shocks this week. They were just all over the place, and like hitting key defensive structures. I like, this is not my first attempt at 6 even, which is crazy because normally I can cruise through 6, and like I had to take out machine guns that were getting barded, and I had to do a little bit of shuffling and position for shocks and everything. So definitely a lot scarier than normal. And then, as you can see, I still have a huge wave of Riflemen. Alright, well, maybe not huge, but I have a significant number of Riflemen who are making it through to the very end. Now, fortunately, because it's the anti-Gren base, you got the minefield of death doing its darndest, and, well, it do what it gots to do. Somehow, 2 Riflemen made it through. Like, 2 Riflemen made it through. Not only did they make it through, but they have the least amount of health that's ever even possible for a troop to make it through. Like, I wish there was some way you could tap on them and be like, you know, out of the 520 hit points, this Rifleman has 3. Because definitely, like, even if it hit the shock mine, I feel like the shock mine would have been enough to kill those last 2 Riflemen. Absolutely ridiculous. But good news is 6 goes down, and then we're on to 7. Now 7, again, Hammerman going back to having the wall of healing Riflemen with the medics keeping that wall regenerating, and because it's got the extra statue boost and it's got the extra all kinds of craziness and whatnot, as you can see, it hurts, man. Like, that wall does some serious damage over on the right-hand side. And then the worst part is, I can't even finish the medics before the next wave comes out, and it's just like wave after wave after wave of freaking riflemen. Just absolutely brutal. The good news is, no Grens to worry about this time. Woo! The trick is, you gotta make sure you get the Scorcher down, because there is a Scorcher that kind of gets dumped in there at one point or another, and as long as you can take that Scorcher down, then you just have a whole bunch of riflemen that you've got to deal with. And because this base is set up with that crazy minefield at the end, it's really advantageous. And again, this is like 6 and 7. Yes, I've got a Doom Cannon out. Yes, the Doom Cannon is sitting there, but let's be honest. No, the Doom Cannon is not really doing that much to help defend my base here. Like, I'm picking off one rifleman at a time, maybe 2 riflemen at a time. But when you're talking 500 crazy riflemen, I'm just saying, you know, like, but I will concede that it obviously groups things up, and it does kill some riflemen. And when you've got 2 riflemen making it through, or 1 rifleman in this case making it through, who knows, maybe those extra couple of riflemen really were the difference. But hopefully you guys can get through Hammerman without having to drop any prototypes if you follow the same kind of ideas that I've put forth in this video. Thanks very much for watching. Hopefully it's been helpful, hopefully it's been entertaining, and above all else, hopefully you guys have a fantastic day.